Good evening, guys, and welcome to interview preparation session by 360 Digi TMG. And today, let us discuss some of the questions regarding data science. So, uh, I would like to wait for 2 more minutes. Okay. After 2 minutes, we'll just start this session. Okay. Yeah, guys. So let's start the session now. So first of all, we will start the session with the MCQ questions. So these were some of the questions which have been asked in some of the interviews regarding in data science interviews and asked by the panel. So we'll just check into this. So first, as going to the first question, guys, uh, we want to predict the probability of death from heart disease based on the risk factor like age, gender, blood, cholesterol level. So, what is the most appropriate algorithm for these cases? And I would like to give you some options. And options are logistic regression, linear regression, k-means clustering, and appropriate algorithm. So if any, go through the question, guys, once twice, please read the question. So if anyone got an idea regarding this, can ping me in the chat box, and we'll discuss the answer in a minute. So yeah, now as we look into this, so here we have been predicting the heart diseases regarding to three factors, and the factors are age, gender, and blood cholesterol of a person. So for this, which might be the good algorithm to calculate, and these were the options, and the answer is A, logistic regression. This is the most appropriate algorithm to use this kind of situations, to go across these kind of situations. Okay. So as we jump into the next question, so after studying the behavior of population, you have identified four specific individual types and that are valuable to your studies. So you would like to find all users who are more similar to each individual type. So which algorithm is most appropriate for this kind of studies? So I would like to give you some options, and the options are k-means clustering, linear regression, association rules, and decision tree. So go with the question, guys. If anyone knows the answer, please ping me in the chat box, and we'll discuss the answer within a minute. So now as we look into this, and the answer for this is, so as we are looking for grouping people together, which means n number of people together specifically by four different similarities, and it indicates the value of a. Therefore, k means clustering. The option A would be the right answer for this question we have been gone through. So as we jump into the next question, yeah, you have run the association rule algorithm on a data set, and the two rules, banana and apple, is equal to grape and apple and orange. Okay, so it has been found to be relevant. So what else must be there? So here they have been gone across these two rules. So what else might be added in those options? Okay. So if anyone, I think, guess the answer. If anyone knows the answer, please ping me in the chat box, and we'll discuss the answer within a minute. Okay. So as we look into this, so as per the association rules algorithm, it should be in the format of banana, apple, grape, and orange. And it must be in a frequent item set. So A is the right answer for this, guys. So as we jump into the next question, yeah. So you have been organizing has a website where visitors randomly receive one or two coupons, which we can read them from online sources. So it is also possible that visitor to the website will not receive a coupon. Okay, so you have been asked to determine if offering a coupon to website visitors has any impact on their purchase decisions. So which analysis method should you use? So nothing, guys. So suppose we have been ordering something on online, or shopping some of the articles or some of the magazines, and some of the clothings in any of the other online sources. So we might get some coupons, right? So some of them might get the coupons and some might not receive the coupons, right? So you have to determine whether the offering of coupons to website visitors has any impact on their purchase history, the way they purchase the items. So to know this, which analysis should be done, and the options are one way ANOVA, K means clustering, association rules, and students T test. So if anyone knows the answer, could please ping me in the chat box, and we'll discuss the answer within a minute. Okay, guys. Now, as we look into this, to find such kind of analysis, we use this one-way ANOVA one-way ANOVA method or analysis to use such kind of algorithms, to come across such kind of algorithms and all. So, as we jump into the next question, so till here there are only 4 MCQs have been done for the day, and remaining all the questions have been direct questions. So, as we jump into the next question, what are the feature vectors? So if anyone knows the answer, can ping me in the chat box and we'll discuss the answer within a minute. Yeah. Now, as we look into this, what are the feature vectors? Uh, so, see, a feature vector is nothing but it is an n-dimensional vector which has some numerical features, and these numerical features will represent an object. So, in machine learning, these feature vectors are used to represent numeric or symbolic characteristics. So, of an object in a mathematically way, that's which are very easy to analyze. So, this is how the feature vector is, and this is how the definition is. So, as we jump into the next question, what is root cause analysis? So, if anyone knows the answer, can ping me in the chat box, and we'll discuss the answer within a minute. Yes, guys. So as we look into this, what is root cause analysis? So root cause analysis is nothing but it was initially developed by to analyze the industrial accidents, but is now widely used in other areas, not only in industrial areas but also in some other areas. It is a problem solving technique and which is also used for isolating that root causes of faults or some problem. So a factor is so the factor is called as a root cause if it's detected from the problem fault sequence and averts the final undesirable event from so this is how this root cause analysis is used. And as we jump into the next question, what is a logistic regression? So if anyone knows the answer, can ping me in the chat box and we'll discuss the answer within a minute. Yeah. Now, as you look into this, what is this logistic regression? Logistic regression is also known as some logic model, and it's a technique which is used to forecast binary outcomes from a linear combination of prediction variables. Okay, this is what logistic regression. And as we jump into the next question, what are recommender systems? So if anyone knows the answer, please ping me in the chat box, and we'll discuss the answer within a minute. Yeah. Now, as we look into this, what are these recommender systems and all? So, recommender systems are a type of subclasses of information. They're basically filters the systems that are meant to predict the preferences or ratings and that a user would give to a product. So, as we jump into the next question, explain cross validation. If anyone knows the answer, please ping me in the chat box, and we'll discuss the answer within a minute. So, as we jump into the next question, so cross validation. This cross validation is nothing but it is a modal validation technique, and for evaluating how the outcomes are going on, and the statistic analysis will generate to the independent each and every independent data set. So normally these are mainly used in backgrounds where the objects is of forecasting and one of to estimate how accurate is the model is and how accomplished is the practice. The goal of this cross validation is to term a data set to test the model in the training phase. So to limit problems like overfitting and gain insight into how to model will generate in the independent data set. So this is how the cross validation process goes on. And as we jump into the next question, what is collaborative filter? So if anyone knows the answer, can ping me in the chat box, and we'll discuss the answer within a minute. So as we jump into the next question, the most recommended systems which are used to filtering process to find patterns, information, collaborating different perspectives and numerous data sources and several agents. This is how this collaborative filtering goes on in data science. So as we jump into the next question, do gradient descent method always coverage to similar points? Gradient descent method does it always cover to some similar points? So if anyone knows the answer, can ping me in the chat box and we'll discuss the answer within a minute. So as we look into this, does the gradient descent methods always cover the similar points? Yeah, they do not, because in some cases they reach some local minimum or local optimum point. So you would not reach the global optimum point. This is governed by the data and the starting condition. So this is so it doesn't take the part of the similar points in the coverage all similar points with the gradient descent methods. So as we jump into the next question, what is the goal of A/B testing? So if anyone knows the answer, can ping me in the chat box and we'll discuss the answer within a minute. As we look into this, what is the goal of this A/B test? So this is an statistical hypothesis testing for some randomized experiments with two variables, two different variables, A and B. So the objects of this A and B testing is to detect any change to a web page to maximize or increase the outcome of this stat. So this is what is the goal of this A or B testing, A or B testing by using two different variables. So as we jump into the next question, what are the drawbacks of the linear model? So if anyone knows the answer, can ping me in the chat box and we'll discuss the answer within a minute. So as we look into this, what are the drawbacks of this linear model? So there were only some of the drawbacks have been mentioned here, and those are the assumptions of this linearities of the error, and it can't be used for count outcomes and binary outcomes, and there are overfitting problems that it can't be solved. So these were the few of the drawbacks for this linear model. So as we jump into the next question, what is the law of large numbers? So if anyone knows the answer, can ping me in the chat box and we'll discuss the answer within a minute. So as we look into this, what is the law of large numbers? So it is nothing but it is basically a theorem which describes the results of performing the same experiment very frequently. This theorem forms the basic of frequency style thinking. So it states that the sample means sample standard deviation convergence to the. Yeah. So this is how it should be go on. And sorry, it was some network issue from my side. So I think you people can't hear my voice. So again, I'll just come from starting. So this is a theorem which describes the result of performing the same experiment very frequently. So this theorem forms the basics of frequency style thinking, and it states that the sample mean, which means the sample variance, sample standard deviations, it covers of both they have been trying to achieve. So this is how the this law of large number is. And as we jump into the next question, so what are confounding variables? So if anyone knows the answer, can ping me in the chat box and we'll discuss the answer shortly. So as we look into this, what are these confounding variables? So these are some extraneous variables in a statistic model, which correlates directly or inversely with both the dependent as well as independent variables. It takes into consideration and correlates directly with both the dependent and independent variables, and the estimate fails to account for the counting factor. So as we jump into the next question, what is star scheme? So if anyone knows the answer, can ping me in the chat box. We'll discuss the answer shortly. So yeah, as we look into this star schema, so this is nothing. This is a traditional database schema with the centers table and the satellite table maps IDs to some physical names or descriptions, and which can be connected to the central fact table using the ID fields. And these tables are known as lookup tables and are principally used in real-time applications as they save a lot of memory sometimes. Star schemas involves several layers of summarize to recover information faster. Okay. So as we jump into the next question, what are eigenvalues and eigenvectors? So I think you people have an idea on this. So give it and try. So we'll discuss the answer shortly. Yeah. As we look into this, what are eigenvalues and eigenvectors? Eigenvalues. Eigenvalues are the directions along with a particular linear transformation acts by flipping, compressing, and stretching. Whereas coming to these eigenvectors, and there are understanding these linear transformations in data analysis, and we usually calculate the eigenvectors for a correlation or covariance matrix. So as we jump into the next question, why is resampling done? Why does we do this resampling? So if anyone knows about this, could put their thoughts in the chat box and we'll discuss the answer in a minute. So as we look into this, why is resampling is done? So resampling is done because of some of these reasons, and those are estimating the accuracy of some sample statistics, and by using subsets of accessible data or drawing randomly with replacement from a set of given points, and substituting labels on data points and substituting those kind of data points when performing significant tests, and validating the models by using random subsets like bootstrap, cross validation, those kind of things. So as we jump into the next question, What is selection bias? So if anyone knows the answer, can ping me in the chat box, and we'll discuss the answer within a minute. Yeah. Now, as we look into this, what is the selection bias? Selection bias is in general it is a problematic situation in which error is introduced due to a non-random population sample. It is introduced due to some non-random population samples. So as we jump into the next question, what are the types of biases and can be occur during sampling? So when we are sampling data, so there are some biases will occur in between. So what kind of biases this are? So if anyone knows the answer, can ping me in the chat box, and we'll discuss the answer shortly. So yeah, as we're looking into this, selection bias, undercoverage bias, and survivorship bias. These were the three biases where occurs during this sampling. So that's it for the day, guys. Hope this session might helpful to you in your interview process or interview handling process. So I'll just give you some suggestions, like not only with these questions, also try to uh, go on practicing some codes like Python by using libraries, by uploading them, by updating them. Also try to take some data frames which is available in the Google or any other networks. So try using different structures, so you'll might get helpful. So that's it for the day, guys. Thank you. Bye. Have a great day, guys. Bye.